excited about the matchup. It's obvious. How did it come about, and how did you react when they first offered you Shogun?
I mean, how it came about, I don't know. That's in the minds of UFC people. I don't make decisions on who I fight, but I've been always, you know, thinking of like a dream guy to fight, this and that. Would always be Shogun, who I've said that probably for 3-4 years now. I always thought it'd be a fun fight. I always thought our styles match up well against each other, and we both were going to go in there, go for a finish, and put on an exciting fight. I guess the UFC finally figured that out. But yeah, I've always said that I thought this would be an awesome fight, and someone I'd love to fight because I'm a fan of and stuff like that. So I'm excited for it and can't wait.
You have this brawler spirit, and you talk about it, yeah, like in a very fun, loving way, like I'm excited to get in there and party with him and stuff like that. But do you, other than that, like, do you worry about your UFC future or next steps, or do you plan, or is it something that the belt or title fights, or is it something that you don't even?
Yeah, a win here definitely, I mean, probably elevates me a lot, or this and that, but I don't really think about that stuff too much. Like you said, I'm just about the next day, the next party, the next good time, have fun. That's all this is go in there, have fun with a guy, fight. I mean, I'm sure I'll be nervous, and it doesn't go away. I'm 20-something fights into my career here, and you know, you still do get nerves, and wish I could say I don't get nervous at all, but no, I do. But I mean, when the door shuts, I mean, it's fun. It's a good time, and it's finally all the work's over. I don't have to cut weight no more. I eat what I want. I'm in there. I'm swinging away, having fun. You know, having a good brawl. So I do like that stuff. I really do enjoy a good brawl, a good scrap. You know, if I knocked them out in one punch, I probably wouldn't be happy. To tell you the truth, if it was, I threw one punch, and I knocked them out, I probably wouldn't be happy. I mean, it's weird to say, but maybe I would be happy. I don't know. But I like the brawl.
Clearly, but do you worry about, because of your style, it puts you in a lot of danger and it subjects you to a lot of damage? Do you worry, like, in the long run that, you know, it might come back to haunt you?
Yeah, I guess you never know. I mean, you see some guys around the sport that, you know, things are a little slower for them now and stuff like that. Some of the older guys that I've met and stuff like that. But then some of the other guys I've met that have been in brawls are perfectly fine. So, I mean, I trust my team enough, I trust people around me enough that if I ever got to a point where I'm not making full sentences and I'm not as funny and charming as I am now, that they would pull me out of this thing. So, no, I mean, like, listen, I like it, I love what I'm doing, I'm not going to fight any other way. I fight this way because I think it's the most fun, and I think it's the way to get fans, the way to be exciting. So, am I worried about my job? No, because I mean, hopefully they respect what I do too. I'm there to put on a show, not just for, you know, my bosses and everything else, but for the fans. So I'm hoping they appreciate it and they respect it, and they want to keep me around.
Can you like clear up this USADA thing? I mean, you're the guy that's like,
nobody asked me about it.
I'm not taking anything. I mean, you're the guy that I've heard you. You're like, I'm not taking anything, dude. I'm like water, and like I don't even think you take Flintstone vitamins or whatever, right? And then you get popped by USADA. All works out okay because you get the retroactive TUE. But dude, just talk us through that whole experience. What?
Well, it was crazy. After my last fight in Albany, I was pretty sick during the fight. Had some fluid around my heart. Like, my heart wasn't beating right. I wasn't getting a lot of oxygen in my blood. I was pretty fucked up. Am I allowed to say fucked up? All right, I was pretty messed up. But so I had to go to the hospital after the fight, and went to a bunch of different doctors, make sure my heart was okay, and they were telling me I had some pretty bad bronchitis, and I had some other things going on. So went to the hospital, and they gave me some inhalers and whatever the hell else they gave me to try to make me feel better. And I mean, I guess at the end of the day, USADA realized that, you know, I was really sick, and I was in the hospital, and that I needed to take that at that time. So, I mean, they know, like, I've been to the athlete summits and stuff like that. I'm scared to take protein. Like, I won't take any supplements or anything like that, because I'm scared that you don't know what's in these things. So I've heard the story of Tim Means, stuff like that. That is some crazy stuff, man. I feel horrible for him that he had to lose almost a year of fighting because his supplement he was taking was tainted, you know. So I'm not gonna mess with no creatine, no protein, or nothing. So I mean, I take some melatonin to go to sleep, and I always list it exactly which one I take because I'm scared even that might have something in it. You never know with these people. So.
Did you panic at all? I mean, did you worry a little bit, or were you like, I know I'm good, or how'd you feel?
Funny story, actually. I'll tell you the funny story. So, Weidman has this ability to call me. He knows it too. I know it, but so I never know who the hell's calling me. To call me from different numbers. He's got some things. So if you get a phone call, so I'm thinking it's Weidman the whole time. I'm like, yeah, okay, Chris, that's hilarious, blah blah blah. They're like, oh no, sir, sorry, blah blah. I'm like, yeah, very funny, and I hung up on the dude. So then they call, they're like, oh, that's very funny that Chris Weidman does this to you, blah blah. But this is not Chris Weidman. This is so and so from USADA. I'm like, dude, I don't believe you. Like, stop, bro. Okay, I gotta go somewhere. Blah blah. He keeps telling me this and that. He's like, we're sorry, but we're gonna get it all taken care of. And he's trying to comfort me at this point. So I'm like, Chris wouldn't be comforting. It's really trying to make me feel worse. So maybe it isn't him. So then I'm like, oh crap. So I'm telling him, I'm like, oh, I'm starting to get a little bit nervous here, this and that. And he's like, then I'm like, shit, am I not gonna be able to fight, blah, blah, blah. And then they tell me they should be able to get it cleared up. You know, I explained the whole story. I was in the hospital, this and that, and they thought I'd be all right. But then I told Chris, and he was dying laughing. He thinking it was the greatest thing in the world. Like, first I tell him I failed a drug test, and he's like, and I'm like, you called me, right? I still think it might be him, like playing with him. And he's like, no, dude, what are you talking about? I'm like, yeah, no, I failed. And pretend like I'm all sad. So hopefully he'll tell me that he's kidding, but no, he wasn't. And then I was telling him how I'll be okay and this and that. So, but yeah, that's the funny story about it was I thought it was him the whole time.
So what do you think? I mean, at the end of the day, now that you've gone through this all, like, does it make you feel good that this is going on? Do you feel like, because everybody's trying to debate right now, like guys like you are dealing with this. You know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day, now that you've gone through this experience, do you feel like, yeah, man, I'm happy, like USADA's doing good things, or like, oh my God, you know, like this is not right? What's your feeling at the end of the day?
I'm certainly happy that they test everyone, and you know, do I know how many times Shogun got tested for this fight? No. I only got tested, I think maybe once, maybe twice. You know, I was dealing with that suspension, so maybe that's why I only got tested. I don't know. I mean, but so I don't know if people are really getting tested. I don't know if you're in Brazil, if you're getting tested that much, or who's, you know, I don't know what's going on with it, but. Yeah, I'm sure I could find out more knowledge on that stuff if I really wanted to, but I do think they're doing a good job. I appreciate what they do. I mean, I'd much rather have a clean sport. I mean, if it's going to be a dirty sport, then I hope UFC will be in here like the old school WWF and pass us out some steroids. So I wouldn't know what to take, you know. But I want to be on the same level playing field is what I'm saying. So I'm hoping, you know, we stay that way. I hope USADA stays around. I do appreciate what they do. You know, I didn't like that it had to come out in the media that I was on something and, you know, an inhaler for my bronchitis. But right away it looks like you're on steroids, this and that. But I understand what they're doing, and they got to be fair to everyone else. And I get it. You know, I told them everything like that. So, you know, people were saying I was getting unfair treatment because so good looking, but I don't think it was anything like that. I just think it was, you know, I had a pretty unique case of being in the hospital and having to take medication from that. So, and listing the medication that I was taking, it was just that I didn't get the TUE beforehand, but sick. So, but yeah, I don't think I got any sort of special treatment. I think they treat us all pretty fairly, and I'd like to see them test more. I mean, honestly. Just don't wake me up too early. They know, the guy knows who comes and tests me that I won't answer the door before 10 a.m. So, like, not even close. He can be out there ringing all day. It's you got to buzz into my building. You ain't getting in there. So.